Good evening, my name is Bob Hammersley. I'm calling the Planning and Zoning Commission for the Town of Southington for Tuesday, July 18th, 2023 to order. Dave, can you please call the roll?
Sure. All right, we've called to order. Commissioner Tedesco, Commissioner Volpe,
Here.
Commissioner Clark,
Here.
Commissioner Walowski. Here. Alternate Commissioner Caird.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Coviello. Here. Alternate Commissioner Coles. Alternate Commissioner Ma.
Here.
Commissioner Santiago. Vice Chair Sulka.
Here.
And Chair Hammersley.
Hammersley's here. I did hear from Peter earlier this week. He's not going to be in attendance. We'll seek Commissioner Ma in his place. And in Nick's place, I'll see Commissioner Keir. So with that, we have a quorum. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. All remain standing for a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes for our last meeting on June 20th, 2023.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Clark with a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, Commissioner discussion. We have a 2023 zoning regulations update by Plan Metrics that we have on tap. Glenn, while you're setting up, I'm just going to go through some administrative items. First, I want to let everyone in the audience and public members that are here with us tonight that the application on, what's it? SPU 683, Johnson Development Associates on 99 Samoran Drive, Zone I-2 is not going to be heard tonight. We are waiting for additional information from the applicant, and as a result, I'll be seeking a table on those items, and they will be heard at our next meeting, which is scheduled for August 15, 2023. The next thing I want to do is, I'll get to that, right? I'm going to ask the commission's indulgence in moving item 8A under the public hearings, and item 9A under the business meeting. I want to do that before we hear from Glenn, but I will be asking for us to adjust the agenda to accommodate that. I just think it's fair that we get that person in and out of here as quickly as possible, rather than sitting through what could be a lengthy public hearing on any of these applications. So, again, good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Southington Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Bob Hammersley. I'm the chair of the commission, and I'd like to take a few moments to explain the meeting format. Aside from administrative items, tonight's meeting is comprised of 2 parts, a public hearing and a business meeting. During the public hearing, the applicant will present the application to us in detail, which will allow the commission members and the public the opportunity to better understand what is being proposed. The commission members may ask questions during this presentation as needed. Then we will ask members of the public who support or oppose the application to speak. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand. I'll recognize you. Once recognized, come forward to the podium up there. State your name and address for the record. Please address all comments directly to myself and not to the applicant or other members of the public. Be advised that this is your opportunity to ask questions and make comments on an application, because once a public hearing is closed, no additional testimony from the public or the applicant will be permitted. It is important to maintain order and decorum at all times during the meeting. After everyone has had a full opportunity to speak, all questions have been answered, and all information has been received, the commission will decide whether it's appropriate to close the hearing. We will not consider voting on the application until the business meeting portion of the agenda. During the business meeting, we will deliberate on applications submitted to the commission and decide how to act on them. The commission may, 1, approve an application as submitted, 2, approve it with stipulations, conditions, or modifications, 3, table action for a future meeting, or 4, in some cases, we may deny an application. 4 affirmative votes of the commission are generally required to approve any application. If you have to leave the meeting before a decision is rendered, you can call the planning department, Dave LaValle down at the end there, tomorrow afternoon to get the results from tonight's meeting. With that, Glenn, I'm just going to move ahead on what I said earlier, okay? I want to go to item 8A on the agenda. Karen, yeah, thank you. home occupation application for a cottage food license, property located at 55 Beal Drive, zone in R 2025, HO87. Karen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to apply for a cottage food license and approval for that through my home. I'm planning on making cookies and scone mixes and shortbread and things like that to sell at the farmer's market. I do have a full-time job, so this would totally be a side business. And if I did have like orders, I'm planning on doing delivery, so I'm not expecting like lots of people or any people really drive into the home and things like that. So I think that's about it.
Okay. Any questions for Karen from members of the commission?
Just a question, Mr. Chairman, concerning,
Bob.
there'll be no signs out in front of your business, in front of your home? And you
Absolutely
expect
not.
any orders will be delivered and/or delivered to the farmer's market, correct?
Correct.
Okay, there'll be no one coming to your house to pick up orders?
I'm not planning to have anybody come to the house, no.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone see a reasoning? Thank you, Karen. Anything else to add?
I have some snacks if anybody's hungry.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
You pay attention. Is there any member of the public who'd like to speak in favor or against this application at this time? She's smart. Okay,
We should do this after we vote.
I know, good point, good point.
seeing none, is there any reason, any commission member see a reason to keep this public hearing open? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I'm now going to move on again to item 9A on our business meeting portion. There you go. Karen, I didn't get the pronunciation on your last name, so I'm not even going to try. Well, home occupation application for a cottage food license, property located at 55 Beale Street, Zone R 2025, HO87. Motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve HO 87.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Tamara. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll just say that we did have a discussion at our last meeting about doing these administratively. I did follow up with Dave earlier today, and I hope that we can move in that direction in the future, just because these are really sort of an administrative approval. But, okay, we need a roll call, Dave, yeah?
Commissioner Volpe,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Walewski.
Yes.
Commissioner Cares,
Yes.
Commissioner Ma,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salka.
Yes.
And Chair Hammersley.
Hammer says a yes, and as I predicted, it's a 7-0. Application is approved. Let's go back to our administrative discussion item number 7. Glenn, floor is yours. I got you on the timer.
Very excited to be, I was
kidding.
anxious to get to the podium tonight. It's nice to see the commission again. Glenn Shalder from Planometrics. I've had the opportunity to work with the commission on a couple of items, and the current one is to update, revise, reorganize the zoning regulations. Over the course of the past, I guess, 8 to 10 months or so, I've been working with staff, with Dave, with Jim, with Mary Ellen, with Alex, the regulations subcommittee, and we're excited to be here tonight to share with you sort of where the regulations are right now today. Would like to stress for the commission that this is primarily a reorganization of the regulations. I have them up on the screen here today to give you a chance to understand how they're organized, so the commission can be familiar with them overall. We have reorganized the regulations in a major way. There's 4 major parts to a set of regulations. The first part we call zones and uses. This is very much the primary information that people are looking for in a set of zoning regulations, so that's the first part. The second part is standards in the regulations, parking, lighting, landscaping, these types of things. The third major part is procedures. How do I get my permit? How do I get my approval? How do I go through a special permit application with the commission? And then the last part is definitions, regulatory authority, and the stuff you look at if you have to. So inside the front cover, we put this quick start guide, which lays out the types of information for people who aren't familiar with looking at the regulations. If anybody wants me to blow these pages up, I will certainly do so, but right now I just wanted to give you a sort of a high-level overview. How you can interact quickly with the regulations, and on each of these pages is a quick link. So for example, here, this one here is about residential districts. Right there, you click on it, and here you are on the page where you start talking about residential zones and the types of uses and standards that are in there. And then this quick link box at the top of the page, if you say, well, what I really want to know is what the yard setbacks are for the zone I'm in, this element right here is the area dimensional standards. Looks like that. Thanks for that. Fix that. But here's the area and dimensional standards for the different zoning districts. So if we think about how people might interact with a set of regulations, this is going to get them, we think, within about 3 clicks to actually what they want to know and where they want to be in the regulations. If we were to go back now into these use tables, and somebody wanted to do a particular use, and it says subject to section 5H1, the operative section, and now you can look at the more detailed standards. So it's meant to be extremely user-friendly for users, for the commission, for staff, and online. People nowadays are used to getting information on their phone, on an iPad or other tablet, on their computers, and it's our hope and desire that this will now be quick and clear and clean for people to be able to get what they want. In addition to that, on the side of the page here, this colored bar is a set of click links too. So if you say, well, hang on a sec, I want to go see the standards section, again, you can click on the sidebar from any page, and now you're looking at standards related to signage, parking, loading, landscaping, stormwater management, and other provisions like that. As part of our work going through the regulations, we looked at the way the text was organized, the phraseology that was used. We tried to eliminate redundancies, clean up the text, and address recent statutory and other changes that have come through. And so at this point in time, we're pretty proud of the regulations in terms of coming to the commission. We're here tonight to answer any questions you may have and talk about where we might go from here. Any questions?
Any questions for Glenn? So again, the purpose here is to go through some reformatting of our current regulations to enhance and improve the ease of use for members of the public, for commission members, for anyone who might want to look at those and understand what they are. I've said it a number of times. I'm not going to not say it tonight, but this is not to change any regulations. It's not to modify any regulations. That's not the purpose that this is intended to do. We're hoping to set up a public hearing for September, sometime early September is what we're hoping. At the same time, and talking to Peter, who's head up this effort for us, what he's asked is that members of the commission take time over the next couple of weeks to look at what was provided for you. All this stuff we received in email, I think that stuff is also up on the website, Dave, yes? For members of the public to take a look at, to provide Glenn with feedback so that when we have our meeting to actually bring it up in August, we're ready and we actually have something that is sort of fully vetted to the best of our ability. We'll still have chances to go back and modify things. Maybe something comes out in the public hearing that we didn't quite see, as usually does. But if people could just take some time to sort of give it a look and give feedback to Glenn and Peter would be appropriate over the next 3 to 4 weeks, please. I think Glenn said he's going to be away the last 2 weeks, so sooner is better.
Sooner is better than later, yes. Just one other thing, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely, yep.
I think I wouldn't want the commission to think that there were no changes to the regulations. So for example, here in the procedures section, your current procedures are sort of intermeshed and interlaced, and they weren't always consistent with the current provisions of state statute. So I would have to say that on that particular section of the regulations, once they were reorganized, we realized we had some challenges. We decided to sort of pull that entire section out and replace that entire section with statutory compliant. And if I can get there just in a sec, let's see how well this works here now. So let's go to special permit. Each section now has a flow chart in it. So what you're able now to do, whether you're the applicant, a neighbor, or anybody else, and you're coming here and you're not quite sure what's going to happen, this will start to give you a sense of the actual way the process is going to unfold. So that is different, if you will, from the regulations, and there may be some other examples in the regulations. So it's not totally, no words changed. The issue is, we were true to what the commission's practices have been, for the most part, and made some strategic improvements.
Okay, Dave, let me ask you a question, and Glenn, if you have information on that. Is the way it's set up on the website, moving forward, going to be as simple as what you just did? Just hitting a tab and being taken right to that thing, so you don't have to scroll down?
I'll let Glenn answer that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, thank you. We figured out a way to make a PDF, the click links active
Yeah.
in a PDF. So if somebody goes to the town website, and looks on the regulations, just to become familiar with it, all of the hyperlinks, the blue text, and the things I've showed you here tonight are all active, all click links. For staff, I have not yet, but will sit down with staff. It's not a complicated document. When you do activate the PDFs, you just have to go through just like a 4-step protocol, and I'll be sharing all of that with staff, et cetera. So this will be maintainable in-house, but the user friendliness is what we're searching for. I believe the current regulations as maintained by staff are individual sections, and the page numbers start with section 3, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, then you go to the next section, it restarts. For this to work with the click links active, it has to be one document. So it's going to be a little different for staff to maintain, but again, we're going to put a little bit more work, we think, in the back end, with the staff and everything else, so it'll be much more user-friendly at the front end. That's our goal.
Yeah, that's great, I like that. So, before we let Glenn go here, any questions or comments from members of the commission? Christina?
Just for clarification, Glenn, everything underlined under red right now is what you were just discussing insofar as new language updated to the document?
So there's 2 versions of the regulations that have been prepared. The one that's up on the screen here right now, I will call a black line version. So this is for somebody who's not particularly familiar with zoning regulations. This is just what the regs are going to look like. The version I think the commission also got is what we're calling a red line version. The red line reflects changes that have occurred during part of the process. So I think, for example, we didn't always have purpose statements for the residential zoning district. So we added some of that. We have added some pictures and other things like that. So generally speaking, the red would reflect changes that have been made through the process.
Wonderful. This is a very contemporary, easy-to-use document for my millennial mind. I appreciate it.
There you go. Wonderful.
Let's
Well,
move
now
it
you
into
can- now you can
21st
Oh,
read the
century.
zoning
not
regulations all you
22nd.
want. There you go.
Yeah,
That's great.
great.
The colors choices also, great job.
Kat, did you have something?
Just already leaps and bounds beyond, instead of 200 pages that you must scroll through, tabbed, linked, just already beautiful. So this is a great start, Glenn. Thank you.
Good. Jen?
One question, I might have asked this before early on in the process, but I apologize if I'm, is this ADA compliant for anyone that's vision or color impaired?
Red, I mean, the colors, I think if you have red, green, colorblind issues, et cetera, I think the colors, I guess I'd have to ask somebody to perhaps take a look at that.
Okay.
I think that the sidebars were meant to be color-coded simply to distinguish those. I mean, the other options that are available is to, and it's actually more work to maintain, but, for example, this sidebar is buried in the header, so it's the same sidebar that goes throughout the document. Some documents are set up that only the active chapter is a tab, and now you can look at the margin on your pages and see the different chapters and kind of scroll to them. So that goes to now a sort of a black and white sidebar, which could be more user-friendly in that regard. So if that was something the commission felt was important, I think if you let us know that, we can make those kinds of changes. And I made the pledge to Dave and to staff before is that, 6 months after adoption or whatever, if issues come up, I'm just a phone call or an email away to help with formatting and everything else until, staff gets comfortable.
Okay, yeah, I just don't know what our,
Yeah, I think it's a good question, so, anyone else? Real good. Glenn, anything else to add?
I do not. Thank you very much. Nice
All
to
right.
see you, and I'll see you in August.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thanks for all your work on this, we appreciate it. Under item number 7, Commissioner discussion, is there any subcommittees or anyone else who has any information they want to share at this time? We're all good? All right, let's go back to item number 8, public hearings. Item 8B, Johnson Development Associates Earth Excavation Application to Import-Export 10,000-plus yards of material for proposed industrial development, property located at 99 Samoan Drive, Zone I2, EE 145. We're looking for a table on this.
Mr. Chair, make a motion, we table EE 145.
Do you have a second?
Second.
I'm going to give it to Steve over there. Don't want to make you do too much over there, Tessa, but thank you. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 8C, Johnson Development Associates, special permit application for proposed 283,800 square foot industrial building on a parcel over 4 acres. Property located at 99 Samoan Drive, Zone I2, SPU 683. We're looking for a table on this one.
Mr. Chair, make a motion, we table SPU 683.
Do we have a second? Jeremiah, with a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 8D. D6 LLC, special permit application for a child daycare facility with 52 students, property located at 318 North Main Street Zone, as a business zone, SPU 682. Mr. Bravino, the floor is yours, sir.
Mouse there, Seb. It worked. Yeah.
As Seb is setting up there, I'll just again announce that the Samoan Drive application is being tabled tonight because the commission is awaiting information from the applicant. So if you're here for that tonight, we'll be back on that one at our next meeting scheduled for August 15th. But don't feel obligated to stay unless of course, you're welcome to, but I don't want you to stay if you're sitting here waiting for that one. Ready, Seb?
I was, but it was the wrong property.
I threw you off.
Now we are in the right property. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner members. My name is Seth Bovino, planner of Patzer Jones and Associates. I hope you can hear me. The property on the screen is oriented north-south. Here's the north arrow. This is North Main Street. The firehouse is to the south at this location. The rail to trail is to the west. The property is located at 318 North Main Street, has 2 buildings on, and this building here is actually number 316. And that's what the subject of the application is tonight, is to propose a daycare facility here about 3,800 square feet. It's served by all the utilities. The play area is located in the rear and the side of the building. We colored the play area a little darker than your typical green area. So this area is dedicated to play area. It's enclosed by a 4-foot vinyl fence. The drop-off area is in the front of the building. The employees' parking is to the north of that. And not all the employees come in at the same time, as was discussed in the previous application. The access is from a side street and coming in a 2-way and then changes to a 1-way at this location. There's signage proposed at this location here and here. This will be a sign indicating 1-way, do not enter, and this will be a 1-way coming in. So there's 1-way circulation coming around and out. And the parents or anybody dropping off has a choice, either go to North Main Street or actually can go this way and long way to the light if they prefer. But the site distance are good. We received approval for these 2 buildings before for medical/retail use. Buildings are on a slab, so the access ADA compliant for the office space, classroom, and for the play area. Screen is proposed along North Main Street for the play area. The trees are a mix of evergreens, white spruce and blue spruce. And north of that, we have a typical street trees, they are required. So nothing changes on the rest of the site plan. What it changes is the use at this end, the one-way circulation, and the drop-off area for the children and the play area. The employees do not come in all at the same time. The drop-off peak time is 7 to 9:30 a.m. and the 2 to 6 p.m. in the afternoon, pickup time. We have good stacking, starting at this location here. Cars can stack prior to drop-off. There are 2 handicap spots at this location. Received staff comments, responded in writing. We will need a waiver from this commission because we exceeded 25-foot maximum allowed in a bead zone for a number of children. At this point, if you have any questions, Matt or I will be able to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you. Just to clarify, in the commission's mind, this is the applicant who came to us, I think it was at the last meeting, and had an application to put daycare facility out on Queen Street that we denied. And I said at the time that I wanted to keep the conversation going, so I'm happy to see that he's come back with a modified proposal at a different location. But with that, I'll open it up for any questions from members of the commission to the applicant. Bob?
Seb, just to clarify one point, the curb cut is out on Chapman Street. There is no curb cut on North Main Street, correct?
No proposed curb cut. There used to be a curb cut when the factory
Right.
was here, but there's no proposed curb cut at this point. Curb cut is at Chapman Street on the side of the street.
Thank you.
Any other questions from members of the commission? This is building number 2 out of the former Beaman Corman property.
Yes, sir.
So we're looking forward to that getting built soon too, but, okay, just to clarify for everybody else, I guess. Okay, Seb, anything to add before I open up to members of the public? All right, thanks. Any member of the public who'd like to come and testify in support or opposition to this application, please approach the podium with your name and address for the record and let us know. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Lou Perillo. I'm the town's Economic Development Director. I had an opportunity to work with the applicant, and we feel that after the last meeting's denial, hopefully you find this to be a more appropriate location. We feel that closing the curb cut on Route 10 versus the other application is a much better way. It eliminates a curb cut, eliminates any kind of additional traffic on Route 10. The Chapman exit, as the engineer referenced, could go in either direction. There's access to a light. Part of the playground is tucked between the firehouse and the street with protection, but we think it's a little bit bigger. And again, there won't be any queuing issues that you had mentioned at the last meeting for denial. So we feel that this site is much more appropriate, and we're here to support this application. Thank you.
Thanks, Lou. Any other member of the public who'd like to testify on this application at this time? Anything to add, Seb? Okay. Does anyone see a reason to keep this public hearing open? Engineering and planning, you're satisfied with the responses you received?
Correct, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Mr. Chairman. There's one checklist from the Health Department, but that can be stipulated,
Okay,
updated. set of
Okay. Just make a note. All right, seeing no objection to closing the public hearing, we'll close the public hearing and move into our business meeting. Item 9A was already addressed. Item 9B, Johnson Development Associates Earth Excavation Application to Import/Export 10,000-plus yards of material for proposed industrial development. Property located at 99 Samoan Drive, Zone I2, EE 145. Looking for a table on this one.
Mr. Chairman? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Make a motion that we table number 45.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second?
Soka with a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 9C, Johnson Development Associates Special Permit Application for proposed 283,800 square foot industrial building on a parcel over 4 acres. Property located at 99 Samorn Drive, Zone I2, SPU 683. Looking for a table on this one.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we table SPU 683.
We have a motion, second?
I'll second.
Volpe with a second. Christina. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9D, Johnson Development Associates Site Plan Application for proposed 283,800 square foot industrial development to include loading docks, trailer parking, and employee parking. Property located at 99 Samorn Drive, Zoned I2, SPR 1869. Looking for a table.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to table SPR 1869.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Mr. Kier, we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9E, C6 LLC, special permit application for a child daycare facility with 52 students. Property located at 318 North Main Street, zone is a business zone, SPU 682. Open it up for discussion amongst the commission members. It doesn't matter.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve SPU 682.
Okay, so we actually have two.
And with the stipulation, Mr. Chairman, that they get the final approval from the Health Department prior to the full approval of this.
Okay, maybe it's procedurally wiser to go with the motion for the waiver first. There's a waiver that's required because there are in excess of 25 students, so, which the applicant has asked for.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we approve the waiver for the number of students up to 152, to 52, I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve the waiver, is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Volpe with a second. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, do we need a roll call here, Dave?
Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, we do actually, right?
Commissioner Volpe,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Walowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Caird,
Yes.
Commissioner Ma,
Yes.
Vice Chair Solka.
Yes.
And Chair Hamilton.
Hammersley's a yes, 7-0, the waiver motion passes. Now we'll open it up for a motion on the overall application, as previously stated. Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman, make a motion, we approve the SPU 682 pending the Health Department final approval.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second on that motion?
second again.
Commissioner Volpe with a second. Any discussion?
Yes,
Bob.
Mr. Chairman. I think this application is far superior to what we saw on the previous submission. And I think, from my perspective, it satisfies all of my requirements with the no curb cut on the main street and the flow of traffic on this application is much better than the previous application. So with that, I would like to approve this application, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Any further? Christina?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, this is it. You know, that last spot, just like our chair said, I value that you went and worked with our community on this one, with both a great team and with our great team here in the town. This is a lot safer of a location. I feel comfortable approving this and standing by it. And also, this is a great little neighborhood. I'm just down the street from you, so I look forward to seeing how this impacts my Dunkin' run. But I think it's a great spot. I'm happy to approve it. And I congratulate you. It's going to be a beautiful place.
Thank you, Christina. Any further comments or comments from members of the commission? I'll just say that, thank you for listening, and I commend you for doing it quickly. And as I said, with the last application, this town does have a deficit, in my mind, of daycare facilities for working parents. And it's important that we do our best, in my mind, again, in my opinion, that we do our best to address that in an earnest manner. And I thank you for taking the time to reach out to everybody and work to get this done. This is a great application. I'm glad to see that property was being put to use even before a foundation has been laid on the ground on that particular building. So to that, I commend Mark on that one, because it's all good stuff. I want to see this stuff not sit vacant after we get it built. So, and with that, we'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Volpe,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Walowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Carey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ma,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salka.
Yes.
And Chair Hammerson.
Hammers is a yes, motion passes 7-0. Congratulations. Item 9F, Joseph Stevens Family L Limited, site plan application for a proposed revision of an existing home to personal services, property located at 5361 Curtis Street, Zone B, SPR 1867. Sev.
Mr. Chairman, Commission members, Seth Bovino, planner with Kratzer Johnson Associates, representing the applicant. Property is located at 53 Curtis Street, Zone Business, served by public water and sewer. The land area is 11,707 square feet. On the screen here, we represented two parcels. The current, this parcel here under consideration, there's a structure on it. It's currently used for residence. It's not used currently, but it used to be used as a residence. And then we have the larger parcel to the west that's owned by the same entity. The lot is very narrow, 50 feet wide from east to west, but quite deep, 230 feet in depth to the rear. The area is very flat, however, the slope north to south by about 2 feet from Curtis Street down to this location, about a 2-foot drop, plus or minus. This current structure on the property is non-conforming because it's a residential use in the B zone. This proposal will bring this into conformity. The proposal is to convert the house into a business which is similar in nature to the business that currently operated in this, which is personal business, personal service. Because of the conversion, we need to provide some parking for this facility. So instead of utilizing parking here and run possibly short, we propose a 7-space parking area here with a handicap parking spot at the location indicated with a ramp and a ramp going around the house to the front door. So to access this parking, we need to make a cut in the buffer between these two properties. We have arborvitae planted here. There's a dumpster at this location. We need to cut that and provide a curb cut connection between the two property. We have some cuts, some fill proposed for this area, but also we provide cuts, which makes the site balanced in terms of quantity for floodplain filling. We have a rain garden that takes care of the drainage. As a quantity and quality of the drainage, we'll take care in this rain garden with an overflow going southerly the way it's going now. We provided calculations for this cuts and fill to staff. I believe they reviewed and concurred that calculation is correct and they agree with it. We also provide wetlands loving shrubs in this garden area. There will be water at some time. So we provide those kind of shrubs, and we redoing the shrubbery in the front, and we're providing street trees along the front of this property. We are having a delivery area, same location that's currently used for a driveway for this house, and we are removing about 500 square feet of this impervious area to help the situation, in addition to our rain garden and the computations which balance the site. We received comments from staff. We went through wetlands approval. We responded in writing. At this point, if there is any questions, this presentation basically covers the floodplain and the site plan. We use an existing curb cut. The walkways are in good shape. There's the walkways, that they're not damaged. We don't need a official dumpster, additional dumpster area. We are going to utilize this for whatever we need at this location. There'll be very little need for that kind of use. It's not a food-related use or anything like that. There was a request for a cross easement. The client is working on that, and you can stipulate that. Basically, it's the same entity, so they'll be able to work it out with the attorney, the town attorney and their attorney. Also, there was a request to ask for a letter from the neighbor to be able to remove this part of the impervious area. I personally saw the neighbor. He has no problem with it. As a matter of fact, he wants to develop this property in the future. But the applicant hasn't been able to meet with him. He has been away. He was able to talk to him via FaceTime. So when he comes back, you'll be able to provide a letter indicating that he has no objections, and you can stipulate those two things a part of your approval if you so choose.
Thanks, Seb. Any questions of the applicant from members of the commission? I'll just bring this up with regards to this and the next item on our agenda here, which is the floodplain filling application. This is currently a non-conforming use of that property, correct?
Yes.
And this will bring that into
Into
conformity,
compliance.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, get that on the record. Anything else?
No, sir.
No? Anything from staff? You've been satisfied with responses? You good? Yep. Okay. We'll look for a motion, I guess?
Are we going to take each one separately, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, this is just item 9F. This is a site plan application, so there was a suggestion from the applicant that we include a cross easement on this property for potential future use, so you may want to stipulate that if you're going to make the motion, Bob.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we approve SPR 1867 with that easement that you just discussed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? Shulowski with a second. Any further discussion from members of the commission? Seb, anything to add? Well, I guess you can't. We've got a motion in front of us, but anything else from members of the commission? Seeing none, let's get a roll call, please.
Commissioner Volpe,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes?
Commissioner Wolowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Carey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ma,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salka.
Yes.
And Chair Hammerman.
Hammers is a yes, 7-0, motion passes. Item 9G, Joseph Stevens Family Limited, floodplain filling application seeking to disturb 2,255 square feet of a floodplain in association with the parking area for a proposed conversion to personal services for an existing house property located at 53 and 61 Curtis Street, Zone B, FF 2737.
Basically, it's Mr. Chairman, Commission member, it's the same presentation. We're here to ask permission for us to achieve that parking area, and to do so, we are balancing the site as far as the site plane, floodplain is concerned.
Okay. Anything from members of the commission? Any questions?
Just to clarify that the Conservation Committee, or the Conservation Commission sent a favorable review or recommendation.
Yes, they did.
Thank you, Seb.
Okay. Anything else? Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we approve FF 273.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ma with a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can we call the roll, please, Dave?
Commissioner Volpe,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Wolowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Carey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ma,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salka.
Yes.
And Chair Hammerman.
Hammers is a yes. Motion passes 7-0. Thanks, Ed. Congratulations. 9H, release of a public improvement bond in the amount of $18,050. Hunter Build LLC, property located at 136 Liberty Street, SBR 1792.
Mr. Chairman, the work is for drainage improvements off-site, and the work is completed, and this is ready for action.
Okay. Anything from members of the commission? This, for those who will remember, is the affordable housing development that we approved about 5 years ago, I think now, out on Liberty Street. I think I sent pictures to everybody because I went out there and just drove by it and was impressed at how quickly that went up. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we approve SPR 1792.
A motion, second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Kier with a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, could we get a roll call, please, Dave?
Sure. Commissioner Volpe?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark?
Yes.
Commissioner Walewski?
Yes.
Commissioner Caird?
Yes.
Commissioner Ma? Commissioner Solka?
Yes.
And Chair Hammerman.
Hammer says a yes. Motion passes 7-0. Item 10 on our agenda, administrative items. Dave, you want to talk about those?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. 231 Realty LLC, that's Save More. At 231 Captain Lewis. They're just looking for an extension on that. 5-year extension. They need a little more time. And the second one is Service Master Apple Valley LLC. Site plan application for pavement area modification and dumpster pad with fencing and grass area. 161 Atwater. Jim and I both looked at that. We had some comments, but it's good to go administratively.
So just so I'm clear, we're looking for permission, I guess, or approval for you to handle these administratively, correct?
The first one would be a vote, you could do a voice vote for that as a commission, and the second one would be yes for us to handle it administratively.
Okay, so let's handle these in order then. 231 Realty LLC, request for a 5-year extension, property located at 231 Captain Lewis Drive, zoned I-2 SPR 1761. We're looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, make a motion, we approve SPR 1761 for the 5-year extension.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Mr. Ma with a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Service Master Apple Valley LLC, does any member of the commission have a problem with our town staff handling that one administratively? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No one has spoken, therefore, go for it, Dave. Do the good job you always do.
Thank you.
And before we move to the next item, anything else from commission members on administrative items? Dave, I'm going to ask that you draft a zoning text regulation change to allow for those home cottage food industries to be approved as a right or
Let me
approved?
discuss that with our town
Okay.
attorney. We may not have to go that far,
Okay.
because I think the state may have left it open-ended
Okay.
in terms of administrative or commission. But
As much
either
as
way,
I
we'll make it
appreciate
happen.
them coming, and in her case, she brought food, that's great, but at the same time, it gets a little bit cumbersome, especially when we have long agendas, and, I don't want to put these people out.
I think the only thing the state said is you can't deny it. So.
Yeah,
if
so
we can approve it
even more so
administratively,
then, yeah.
we're good.
Bob?
Is there any limitations we want to put on that, though?
Typically don't like this, Chairman, typically don't like the pickup, and we try and limit that as much as possible at the home. We don't want it in commercial business, so if they prep it for somewhere else, if they have an occasional pickup, we can kind of get a feel for how often that would happen. Through the FFL, you do allow people to go there as well, so it's very limited, I think. and it's-
So what we're basically saying is we're giving them the administrative role, but if they deem it appropriate, then they would submit it back to this.
I think
This
there,
commission?
it makes sense to put some guardrails up there.
That's what
and I
I'm
think-
thinking,
I think
but
the
I don't
staff
know,
is pretty
you know.
attuned to what
Yeah.
what those guardrails will be, and, I tend to trust staff, and even if we listed it as they came up under administrative items, and he could just let us know that this came before him, and, that type of thing. I was talking to the applicant before she came up tonight, and she said she had to wait a month to get that, because it's all these check boxes that have to be hit, so, and I'd rather not hold those people up. I think it's great stuff. I can't imagine anyone voting against such a thing. Of course, Bob, with stipulations that you outlined, but staff is pretty good about making sure that stuff isn't going to happen or impede the traffic flow in the area, because you're really talking again about residential houses, obviously, but at the same time, I just want to sort of move these things along as quickly as possible. So why don't you and Alex talk, and if there's some reason to come back to us, let us know. And if there isn't, we'll just follow up at the next meeting and see where we are. All right, sound good? Anything else from staff? Members of the commission, seeing none, let's move into item number 11, receipt of new applications and items scheduled for a public hearing. Dave?
Yes, we have an application from Peter Siakowski, special permit application, for a 24.5 by 26 residential home addition in excess of 25% of an existing structure. Property located at 46 Jude Lane, Zone B, SPU 684. That's on Jude Lane, across from Cadillac Ranch, roughly. You'd probably drive right by it, wouldn't know it's there. They want to expand it. You'll see it come before you.
So they're expanding a non-conforming.
Correct, but it won't lead you anywhere, but it appears to be in harmony, and that's what you'd look for, is to see if it would
That little tiny one?
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you'll see that it's quite a bit of an expansion, but it's just reasonable. And the second item, you'll see a zone change from Kurt Hollis petition to change the zoning district boundary from R2025 to I2, property located at 322 Lazy Lane, zone change 576, and that's adjacent to his Trano Drive property.
Commission members, before we look for a motion to adjourn, can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Kowalski with a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Have a good night.
What's that?
What's in that one?
Pickleball.